Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and another puzzle by Blobz today. I do enjoy doing Blobz puzzles and he sends us a few, but they're always a great standard. So we'll have a look at this soon. It's slow thermos in case you're just getting cracking on it. I will explain the rules in a moment. I do want to mention the Spider-Man Sudoku Hunt, which is available on Patreon and which quite a few people have achieved. Well done to those who've worked their way through it. There is help on Discord on the Patreon chat channel for those patrons who want to visit that and get a little nudge from someone. There are some very skilled and experienced solvers there helping out. So well done. And well done to those who've got through it. It's quite a tough challenge compared to the last couple of months and quite popular. So that's on Patreon, along with our crossword and gridogram and connections videos, all sorts of extra content, and even Simon and me solving the Blueprints puzzle hunt, which arose because we keep we keep going to the Blueprints house on Monday evenings for a stream. You're very welcome to join us there in chat, 10 p.m. our time on a Monday. And we do Friday crossword masterclasses as well as our 2 Sudoku videos a day and all the minute cryptic and Wordle in a minute content that we put out. So thank you for joining us on the channel. You could even buy our apps, which are available on the CTC app. They feature line Sudoku, but also classic Sudoku too. And the worms, including, and we work back to Blobz. Blobz is the latest Sudoku worm, the eclectic Sudoku worm, and it's great fun. Do give it a try. It's 12 connected 6x6 puzzles, and after you've had a go at this puzzle or watch the video, you will like Blobz's style and you will want to do that. I impress that upon you. Right, let's have a look at the rules of this puzzle. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, column, and every 3x3 box. Along slow thermometers, digits either stay the same or increase as they move away from the bulb. So if a digit changes row, column, and box, it could stay the same. Otherwise, it increases as it moves away from the bulb. Along green lines, adjacent digits differ by at least 5. So any 2 digits connected immediately by a green line have a difference of at least 5, the German whisper rule. Those are all the rules we get. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. So I'm going to try and assume Simon's persona for a moment. He wouldn't be marking up any of these thermos. He'd be studying this central box and asking a perceptive question like, where does 9 go in that box? And it is a perceptive question, even though these are slow thermos. Well done, Simon. Even though these are slow thermos, 9 cannot go in any of these bulbs. Not because it couldn't appear again on a thermo, which it could on those 4, which are allowed to have a different digit afterwards. But as these thermos continue, they all take at least one more step in their box. And therefore, if you were to put 9 there, yeah, sure, you could put 9 here, but you'd need to put 10 here. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm putting 9 in the middle. And now I'm going to consider 8. 8 in this central box. This is how Simon would go about this, I feel. I could be wrong. I don't want to malign him. I will stop saying that. Anyway, 8. Again, 8 could go here, but for 8 to then appear, obviously 8, well, in fact, 8 couldn't appear in any of those cells because the next one would have to be 9 and would see a 9. These are more constrained than I realized, but these are a bit less constrained than I realized. But if they extend 3 cells into the box, that's too far to start with an 8. So I think the 8 in the central box has to be there and its thermo has to continue 8, 9. Now, I was going to move on to 7, but I think that's too daring. I think any of these could be a 7, followed by a 7, 8, 9. What I do draw the line at is thinking that these could be 7, because even this little one would have to go 7, 8, 9, and the 9 would clash. So 7 is in a corner, and I might now have to end my foray into thinking about where digits go in the central box. Now, what have I learnt for the German whispers? I don't mind slow thermos, but I'm a bit happier and more used to working with German whispers. I don't think I've learnt anything. I mean, 6 can't go in those cells because again, you wouldn't get enough increase as you moved out along the row or column to fulfill the thermo. But I can't mark 6 just into those cells because even this could be a 6. I am sort of wondering, I don't know. No, I don't know. I was sort of wondering about, I don't know what I was wondering if I think about it. Maybe, where does 8 go in this column? That's not a bad question. And where does 1 go in the column? That's a good question. 8 must go on the end of one of the thermos, and 1 must go in the bulb of one of the thermos. I mean, the straight thermos, you can ignore the slow thermo rule. You can just treat them as normal ones because in the same column or row, they must change digit. So 1 is on one of the bulbs. Now 1 can't be on any of these other bulbs. Where's the 1 in this row? It can't be on a bulb. It can't possibly sit on a cell on one of these horizontal bulbs that isn't, sorry, a cell on one of these horizontal thermos that isn't the bulb. So I think 1 must go there. And now I ask, where does 2 go in the row? And that's a very interesting question suddenly. Well, it has interesting ramifications because 2 now can't be on a second cell when you can't put 1 on the first cell. So 2 must be in one of the bulbs. And now these 2 are prevented from having a 2 on. This is beautiful. So wherever the 2 is in this column, it's outside the central box and it's immediately following the 1. So I don't know which of these 2 is the 2, but I do know the 1 goes with it on the thermo. Now, I suspect my fun with 1s and 2s and low digits is over at that point because I don't think I can make the same sort of predictions or deductions about 3. I could ask where does 8 go in this row, but it doesn't feel very profitable. I mean, it's obviously on the end of one of those thermos. But having said that, I've said everything I've got. Right, this 1 is unhelpful. Oh, look, this digit touches a thermo. Okay, my next question is, could this possibly be high? It's on the second cell of a thermo. You might describe it as on the third last cell. I think it's probably a very important digit in the puzzle, but I'm trying to work out. It can't be a 7 because the thermo would then have to go 8, 9 and that would clash. The only way this is a high digit is if it's a 6. And then this digit has to be a 1. And the weird thing about that is it would fix where the 1 in the central box went. 6, 1, 1. Also, you'd have 7 and 8 on this thermo. And because of what we said about 2, it would even place 2. I don't know. I want to say that this can't be high, but I haven't found a way to say that that was wrong yet. 6, 1. 1 would be there, 2 would be here. It's intriguing and I can't quite see it. Yeah, there's something going on there and I can't quite work it out. Oh, maybe it's relating to what I said earlier. That would be weird. What I said earlier that mattered is that 6 could have been in one of these starting cells in the central box. But only there if this went 7, 8. So 6 could only be here if this was a 2, 3, 4, 5 thermo. Oh, even that's a little difficult. Okay, what are the digits that can go in here? That's really interesting. It can't be a 2 because 2's in one of those cells. It can't be a 1. It can't be 5 because 5 never goes on a green line. It doesn't have a possible neighbour. So I think this digit is 3, 4 or 6. We've worked out why it can't be 7 because of a 9 here. That is 3, 4 or 6. It can't be 4 because this digit would be 9 on the thermo and that would clash. So it's either a 3 with an 8 here or a 6 with a 1 here. How bizarre is that? Now, if that's a 6, this digit is 8 on the thermo. If that's a 3, this digit is 8. 8 only has 2 possible positions in that box. That feels very weird yet again. I bet one of these options breaks, and I think it's the 6, 7, 8 one. But I didn't realise the 3 and 8 one would be quite so constrained. That's really interesting too. For this digit to be a 3, it would have to be preceded by 2 on the thermo. And we know that if 8 was there, 8 would end up here in the row. So we'd get a lot of this these thermos in row 5 filled in. 2, 3, 8. Well, maybe not any more than that. I feel like this is the absolute crux of the puzzle because green meets grey. I don't know. It's very interesting. So what I haven't been thinking about for a while is the fact that where one of these is a 7, then we know the progression to the outer reaches of the puzzle. 7, 8, 9. Now, what does that do? Does that do anything to anything? And pardon my thoroughly specific articulation there. It doesn't really. 8 and 9, this has been obvious from the word go. 8 and 9 have been used in this box. So the high digit on this pair, which must be one low and one high, is either 6 or 7, and therefore the low digit there is either 1 or 2. If this went 6, 1, is that constraining that stuff? Not really. I don't think it's even determining the height or otherwise of this digit. There's something about polarity here, isn't there? But I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're meant to be figuring out. Blobz is so clever. I'm sure there's something brilliant going on here. Right, if that was 6, we know this would be 7, 8. This thermo would be going 2 or 3, 3 or 4, 4 or 5. I mean, this 8 is looking at a few green lines, but not very hard, if I'm honest. They're only 2-cell green lines. And it's forcing them to have a high digit that is 6, 7 or 9. That's all I know. Okay, let's have a brief think. If this was a 7, the high digits on these green pairs would be 6 and 9, and therefore 1 would get used up on one of them, along with 6. Oh. This digit, and indeed this one and this one and this one, these are in positions which I haven't bothered to describe in this puzzle, where you can't put the numbers 6 or 4, because they've got 2 neighbours that see each other. In these cases, the neighbours see each other in rows. But I mean, it's still, it means this digit couldn't be 6. So if this digit was high, that I'm in now, it would be 7 or 9. If it's low, it's 1, 2, or 3. And that is fewer possibilities than I had expected, but really not significantly fewer. Yet again, though, if this digit was low, if this digit was high, that's what I was thinking. Well, my mouth was saying something else. If this digit was high, it sees 8 and 9. That would have to be 6 or 7 as well. And this would be a 6-7 pair, and that digit would be touching a 6 and would have to be 1. Now, why is that a potential problem for us? Is it a potential problem for us? If this was a 6-7 pair, that would be 1. This would be 1 or 2. And alternatively, this is low. This is 7 or 9. This is low. This is 6 or 7. I don't know what it does. I mean, I feel like this does something. I think I'm looking at the right elements and I'm just not making the right deductions based on them. It's an odd puzzle, though. It is an odd puzzle, and I haven't worked it out. If that's 3, this is 2. One of these is a 2. That doesn't mean anything for me, does it? I don't see how it does. I've confined 8 to one of those cells. That's not interesting enough. I suppose over here 8 could be confined to those cells, but that's frankly even less interesting. I was thinking for a moment of saying, where does 1 go here, and it can't go there, but it could. Oh no, it can't, because that can't be a 1, because we've narrowed 1 down in the central box. So even allowing for the properties of slow thermos, that couldn't be 1. But, you know, yes, I know 1 doesn't go on this thermo then, but that's not really very interesting. Okay, 1 and 2 are kept off these thermos. So they are all being selected from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The trouble is their next cell is also 3, 4, 5, 6. Or it could be a repeat is what I'm saying. 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. The next cell as we go out is 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. And now I'm trying to solve this in a very mark way of marking up thermos thoroughly. This 1, it just doesn't feel like it's doing anything. I suppose it's confining a 1 to those cells and these cells. I haven't really been thinking about 5s. We normally think about 5s, which have to either be, well, they can never be on green lines. So there's a 5 in one of these cells. And there's a 5 in one of these 4 cells, because they have to avoid the green lines. And I suppose in these cells, or here, oh, how about the polarity in box 1 then? Yeah, this digit can't be 7. Oh, well this might work in, I don't think it's going to work in box 3, but it does work in box 1. This digit can't be 7, because you'd have 3 high digits here, but you need a high one in that pair and in that pair. So this digit can't be 7, And that means this digit can't be 7, even by slow thermo rules. So now we know that the 7 in the central box is in one of those two cells, and therefore one of these is a 7 in these two. I know I'm marking across boxes, but I've got nothing else going on. One of these two is an 8, and one of these two is a 9. Now, does that do something suddenly? Does that do something with 9 in this box? Well, it keeps it in one of those 4 cells. Not very interesting. This digit can't be 8 because one of those two is an 8. So the 8 in the central row now has to be here. Wow, that has taken me a ridiculous long time over what was one of the more simple bits of deduction. I think I did the difficult bits here and I didn't do the easier bit. Right, 8 there means this is a 1 and this is a 6 because we worked out that 8 was confined to those cells. This is a 6 by that earlier work, and now this is a 7. And this thermo is going 2 or 3, 3 or 4, 4 or 5 as it proceeds outwards. This digit can be anything from 2 to 5. That 6 is looking at this cell, perhaps. That 1 at this one. Now, if this was low, it would... Oh, no, never mind that. Let's look at 6 looking at that cell, 7 looking at the next, 8 looking at the further one. So that was all because one of these was 7 and one of these was 8, and that couldn't be 8. It's not going to have a similar effect. Now, what we were learning here, I don't think... we now know this is high. I don't know which digit it is, but it's high. And there's a high here and a high here. And that means that these 3 can only contain a maximum of 1 high. So this digit can't be a 5, or else there'd be 2 high beyond it. This digit can't be a 6 or an 8, or else that would be high and this one would be high. This one I can't constrain. But pushing down there means this is now 3 or 4 at the beginning of the thermo, the slow thermo. I feel like I've established this is low, but I don't think I've actually done that. Now, what next? That is 3 or 4. What about 6? 6 cannot be here because the bulb would go 6, 7, 8, 9, and here 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is now a 6, 7 pair. And these can only be 6 and 7. We must have slow repeats going on there. These can only be 7 and 8. These can only be 8 and 9. Well, that's progress. Now, what does it do? What does it do? These are all high. The final remaining high in the box is on that green twosome. So this is low. I don't know which digit it is, but it's low. This is high. I mean, now is the time to start finally colouring, which I should have been doing from the get-go because it might have explained to me what was going on in a way that I just wasn't getting before. Oh, look, these are all high. There's another high here. Now, in one case, there is a 7 in one of those. So either that's 7, 8, 9 and this pair is 6, 1, or this is 7, 8, 9 and this pair is 6, 1. And in the other case, we can't repeat the digits, so we're having 6, 7, 8 and a 9 on the thermo. So these, one of these thermos has a 9 on and one has a 6 on. Oh, I don't know how to pencil mark that nonsense. Oh, it's so clever. This is brilliant, isn't it? Isn't it brilliant? Can't be only me who thinks so. Now, I don't think I'm anywhere near finished, but I do think I've reached the end of the beginning, as Mr. Churchill would have said. That is a 6-7 pair, and this can't be 6 or 7, and it's obviously high. There's a high digit to come. Okay, the high one here, one of these is a 6-1 pair. Now, which one is more likely to be the 6-1 pair? Oh, and the 6 on that pair is going to be in column 8, because these see a 6-7 in the column. So one of those is a 1. One of these is a 6. I don't know how it works for the 9 on the other side, but the 1 that is here is going to move to a high digit in one of these cells, which is going to be 8 or 9, because they see a 6-7 pair as well. If it was here, it would definitely be a 9. If it was here, it could be either of them. And then it's going to move to a low digit beside the 8 or the 9. Oh, where does 5 go in this column? Because we've pencil marked those without 5, and it can't go on a green cell, so it goes there. Now where does 5 go? I was going to say the central column. That's not a fair question. Because it could be on a bulb, couldn't it? If a 5 was on a bulb, no, it couldn't be. 5 can't be on one of these bulbs, because that would make the bulb, the thermo go 5, 6, 7, 8. That would use 3 high digits here, and there's 1 to use there and at least 1 to use there. 3 high digits here is no good, because 1 to use here and at least 1 to use there. So 5 doesn't go on a bulb. The only place for 5 in the central box is right there. Now I can fill in 2, 3 and 4 in the row. That digit can't be a 4. Is that all that gets me? These are from 1, 3, 4. Oh, 5, 2, 6, 7. These are a high and a low. These must be 2 lows and a high to get the right count of highs and lows for the column. So that's 8 or 9. This is now high because it's sitting next to that. We must alternate between high and low. So this is not where the 6 and the 1 go. They go down here. I mean, again, I've done the hard work before I've done the easy bit, I think. But anyway, that's my problem. It's not yours. This digit sees 3 or 4. This one sees 6, 7 and 8. That's a 9. This one is an 8. These two are not allowed to be 4, so they're a 1, 3 pair, and this is 4. Now, what does that do? We need an 8 at one end of this column. We now know where that is. That makes this cell 9, and that makes this one 8, and this has to go 8, 7, 6, 6 into the central box. This is now going 8, 7, 7 into the central box. This digit sees 6, 7 and 8. I believe it is high. Keep my colouring going. Don't know why. Probably not going to need much more of it. But this digit sees 6, 7, 8 and 9. So that's low. This is high and sees 8, 7 and 6. So that's a 9. In fact, this low digit is a 2. I didn't colour the 4 yet. That's an 8 by Sudoku. And in this column, we need a 4 and a 5. I can do those. This box needs 2, 3, 5. This is, I don't know. Okay, let's do more Thermo and Whisper stuff. So there's a 9 in one of those two cells. 9, 4, 5, 8. Right, the high digit in this pair is not 9, it's 6 or 7. Now we worked out earlier, if this digit is 6 or 7, that's a definite 1. Sorry, I'm sure there's something fairly obvious now, and I'm struggling. Oh, 6 is looking at that cell. I mean, that's not it. 5 is looking at that one, so this is definitely high in the corner. 183. Oh, right. There is a high digit there and a high digit there. Neither of those, look, all of these cells see 7. That's quite weird. Oh, they all see 7 and 9. That means the 2 high digits in these bits are 6 and 8. Neither of them can be here. This digit sees 6, 7, 8 and 9. So that's high. And that is not 6 because the high digits, that is 6 or 8. And the high digit on this line is 6 or 8. But, oh, it's not 6 because that would go in this cell and you can't put 1 in there. So the high digit on this is 8 and that must go here. That's crazy. That's beautiful stuff actually in box 1. This is now a 6. This connects to a 1. This is high. It's probably a 9, but I don't know that for sure. This is low and it's not 1 or 3. That means this is 7 or 9. Now, I mean, I've got so many digits done in this box. This is 2 or 3 to connect to the 8. I mean, I can't believe this puzzle is going to take much more time. 6 and 7 are down looking at this cell. So that's going to mark up my last thermo with high and low. And now I've got it wrong, cunningly. Yeah, sorry, I used the wrong colours. Blue there, orange there. And now this is high. That's 7. And this digit, which sees all the other Sudoku high digits, is a 6. That's a 1. 1, 6. We've got 2, 3, and 7. That is a 2, 3 pair. The thermo tells us the order. We get a 7. Do I remove all the colouring or colour up to the end? I remove it, I think, at this point. Bye-bye colours. We're just doing Sudoku now. 3 goes here. That's a 1 on the thermo. That's a 4. And we finish off this column by using the thermo. That digit becomes a 9, as I suspected. This one at the top is 2 or 4. Now 7 there tells us about 9 and 7. 2 and 9 in box 4 are placed. That gives me 5 and 7. That's a 6. 3, 4, 5 here, which I can't do yet. That is not allowed to be 3. This is a naked 5. That's 2, 5, 3. It's another gorgeous puzzle by Blobz, isn't it? I mean, how, you are wondering, does he do it every time? 6, 8, 7, 1, 9, 2. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's a 3. That's a 4. That's a 5. This is 3. That's 4. This is 2. Yeah, just checking my eliminations there. I think that's right. 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 4 and 3. And down here we've got a 6 and a 1 and a 3 to finish the puzzle. And there's our starburst completed in a classic Blobz time of almost exactly half an hour. Fantastic. I mean, I've enjoyed every second of that. That is absolutely glorious. Yeah, I was it was twice, I think. I did the hard stuff and then the easy stuff that kind of tapped it in over the goal line. And the puzzle looks a little bit like a Union Jack to me, but Blobz, not being a UK resident, didn't design it with that in mind. It's just a starburst to him. I will see you again on the channel tomorrow, I hope. Do join us then. Absolute pleasure to be with you, and bye for now.